If you got to move anywhere in the USA to start all over again, where would you suggest? 1990. You'll need a DeLorean, a flux capacitor, and a way to generate 121 gigawatts first. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. Where we are going, we don't need roads. To be continued. Cue Back in Time by Huey Lewis and the News. My family started all over again in Vermont. No regrets. What's Vermont like to live? Absolutely loved our vacation there. I'm from Vermont. They are in the throes of an incredible housing crisis because of laws that don't allow new builds. They're also struggling to keep their hospital system open. It's a beautiful place, but it's certainly not a utopia where everyone gets to live happily. Any rural state struggles to keep its hospitals open, as rural hospitals depend on subsidies that the US Gov is cutting. Also, the reason the zoning in Vermont is so restrictive is because wealthy and retired homeowners in Vermont want to keep their property values high. They are influencing all of the local planning boards to prevent any new builds that would negatively impact property values. This is happening across the country, but it's especially notable in Vermont because of how rural it is, combined with it being attractive land for seasonal/vacation homes. I did this 2 years ago. Moved to Hawaii. Really doesn't feel like USA sometimes. I forget there is a mainland. Hawaii is great if you have money or are willing to live extremely minimalist. I moved here, Maui, with $2,500 in my account in 2018. Got a job, got an old beat up truck, got a 6-month lease, and now it's 7 years later and I have less debt, more assets, and a much better life than when I lived in Florida, where I was born and raised. If you move to Hawaii and expect it to be nothing but surf and sun, you'll be homeless, or you'll move back off the island. If you are willing to work hard, it's more affordable than you'd think. I can't speak for the other islands, but now is a very rough time to move to Maui. Since the fire, the housing and job markets have been awful, and they were already laughably bad to begin with. That's very true. The fire added many layers of complication. Am I rich? If yes, Southern Cali. Indeed. SoCal for the weather, but F the costs out there, and the traffic. People who make that kind of money don't sit in traffic, as they don't have to report to a normal 9 to 5. By that logic, there would be no traffic though. Not Vegas. Not Vegas. I repeat, not Vegas. What about New Vegas? Will Ella Pernell be there? Maine. I'm in Massachusetts now, so not overly far, so still close to family and friends. But I love Maine. The southern beaches, the county, Portland. If you've never been, check out Bar Harbor sometime. It's amazing. Southern Maine is a good option for anyone that still wants a decent connection with modern conveniences. Everywhere else is like moving back in time 30 years, which is great for some people, especially those that love hunting, fishing, and winter activities like snowshoeing and ice fishing. But if you like access to concerts and sporting events, easy travel, reasonable times for doctor/dentist visits, etc., then it can be tough. Even Southern Maine no longer has reasonable times for doctors, lol. Long wait for doctor appointments seems to be a national problem. Increasing costs and barriers to becoming a doctor, along with increasing exploitation of apps, nurse practitioners and physician assistants, have really gone a long way to hurt healthcare access by limiting the number of providers available throughout the country. Every year we have less and less students trying to become doctors or apps as the average age of the population continues to grow. Wealthy? San Diego. That weather so nice. Friendly people. The zoo. The ocean. The hot Navy men. San Diego. Starting over in San Diego is one of my favorite decisions I ever made. New Mexico. It would be Arizona, but New Mexico has better representation, so they have free childcare and other benefits that other states don't. There are mountains, forest, desert, plains. They have clear sky areas and national parks. Lots of diverse areas to choose from. I started my life over in New Mexico. Best thing that ever happened to me. I have a family here now, and am in love with this place. Also, for the above comments, childcare is universally free now. No income limits. The Northwest, Washington State or Oregon? U.S. Virgin Islands. St. John would be incredible. Michigan. It has everything: beaches, lakes, rivers, forests, sand dunes, all 4 seasons, ski slopes, lots of parks, trails, historic areas. The upper's less densely populated, and if you want larger cities, they are there too. They drive fast, which is oddly a plus after living and visiting places where people drive like snails. Job market isn't the best, but in my dreams I don't care. Be careful talking about the up. Let's keep that a secret. Hahaha, true. The Northwest, like Washington State or Santa Barbara or Anchorage. I started over in Anchorage again for the 3rd time. It's not the Anchorage I remember for sure. Then of course, neither is any of the US. Literally this. I miss my beautiful Bay Area from the 90s. San Diego. Perfect weather. All the pluses of LA without all the minuses. Functioning city government. Strong job market. A decent amount of culture and tons of access to nature and outdoor activities. I don't even like the beach, and I'd still love to be able to live there. Which area? Large ALA, not UTC. Incinitus if you can afford $3M plus houses. Job market is great for tech. Medical field, but keep in mind SD is tier 2 for salaries. LMAO the not UTC made me laugh. Morro Bay, California. I've always wanted to visit the Marine Life Institute there, but I can never remember where it's at. Marin County, CA. Southern California. I'm sick and tired of the PNW weather. I visited Incinitus a few years ago, and it was like I discovered a new planet. I just made the move from PDX to Sokol. Loving it so far. Born and raised in New York, owning the world, still repeat my life in. I am not delusional. It's expensive and can be very annoying, but I love the energy and everything. It's literally a place that I think has it all, and am including car distances. You have beautiful hikes, waterfalls, history, caves, and just general nature in the north. Beaches and beach vibes only, and old money vibes there too. Then the greatest worldly city out there. I mean, it's like a little something for everybody. I'm under the impression once I'm even older than I'm now, I maybe might need to move for warmer weather and a better kernel. But my grandmother is 98 and still lives here, which gives me hope. Chicago. Curious why. I live in Chicago now, love it, so just wondering. My whole life people have been coming to Chicago from all corners of the world and have made it their own. Of course you will pick up Chicago slang and swag. And Chicago is better for you being here because we are a melting pot that gets better with everyone who comes here to make a life for themselves. We are the second city because we are second to none. Go Bears. I've lived in the PNW, Minnesota, and North Dakota. I'm planning on moving to Southern Oregon to start the last chapter of my life. It's an incredibly beautiful area that has a very unique vibe, in my opinion. It has all 4 seasons without being overly extreme. There are tons of natural attractions that are always less crowded than the northern parts of Oregon and Washington. The cost of living is less than California and the northern part of the state, unless you move to Ashland. The ocean, the redwoods, and several mountains are all close by, and traffic isn't an issue comparatively. San Diego, CA. Good tacos. A taco mega region. https://www.sandigaville.com/2024/10/new taco guide by local food writer. HTML, as one food writer has dubbed it. Smoky Mountains. My preference would be around Asheville, NC, somewhere in the surrounding area. Very nice people. Endless outdoor activities. The weather is a nice mix and mild. If you can afford to rent or buy a home, and don't need a job that pays more than $20 an hour, come on down. Housing does cost less in the counties outside Buncombe, where Asheville is, but the jobs will also pay less. I would leave the US, if I could honestly. The amount of people offended by this LMAO. Seattle. For anyone considering it, not Missouri. I don't think literally anyone was, but thanks. Shockingly, people do indeed move here on a regular basis, to my astonishment. I love the Oregon coast. Personally, ocean, but cool temps, minimal humidity, my perfect climate, expensive real estate, so I'd have to be rich to live there. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for sure. Lower cost of living. 4 distinct seasons. Lots of big city amenities without the big city issues. Great healthcare options. Multiple universities. Thriving art and music. Close enough to big East Coast cities to easily visit. International airport. Need I say more? Alaska, of course. Your of course answer is my I'd rather die answer. And according to statistics, so would a lot of other people in Alaska. Read through 57 comments and I didn't see Texas. I could definitely understand. I know people here like to hate on Texas. But moving to any of the larger cities in Texas, Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, would be a good move for someone living in rural Texas or the southern US who didn't have the resources to move to any of these other VHCOL cities listed in this thread. Before reading this thread, I thought the answers would be more economics based. Starting over generally means that to me. If that were the case, Texas would be much higher on the list. I live in Houston and frankly it's not a destination, although I think the stereotypes are much worse than reality, but boy, people do make money here. There's a reason the population of the metro doubled in the last 25 years. In any event, many of the places showing up here, Southern California, Pacific Northwest, would be my choices too if money/jobs were not a consideration. Beautiful Chicago. IL.